Hello, man. Welcome. Welcome, all of you.
Hello.
Hello, Mesti.
Thank you, bro. Where from, bro?
I'm from heaven.
What? I can hear.
You cannot hear. Okay. Still, my audio is bad. Maybe
Bro,
it's because
my
of the
English
fan.
level is little.
Okay, you should
Please
join
speak
other.
the low, slow. Okay?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh my
I'm
Bro,
not
god.
gonna do
don't,
that.
uh, don't. Hehehe. What is meaning?
Yeah. We will do that. All of us.
Yeah.
Don't ha 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 me. Look, he was so needy. He was like, speak slow.
Uh,
Don't ha ha ha.
you can you can talk to this John Tenner. He is one of my very good friends, and he's very eloquent.
John Tanner. I can give the mic.
Yeah.
Not all people.
Oh, he left.
I don't know. I gave the mic.
Yeah, he's also into this deep philosophy, the
Oh,
existence of God, what is after death.
yeah. We like it. I like it.
We
So,
don't have any apparatus to figure out what is after death, what happens when we die, what is consciousness,
unfortunately.
etc.
But
Fortunately, unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we don't know. We cannot investigate.
Yeah,
And we have to, not we have to, but we always listen to people who says, oh, believe me, it's written in my book. Or some
that
people
is
say,
called
I had an
religion.
experience. Yeah, religion.
The existence of God is not confined to a mere religion.
Oh, yeah, but mostly it's under the authority of religions, right? Mostly.
Uh, yeah.
So, what about you? I see you in the room, but we didn't talk, right?
No, the other day we were talking. I My PFP was a chess king, chess piece of king.
Piece of king?
Like my PFP, my profile picture was chess piece of chess.
Piece of chess. Oh, I don't remember that. Sorry.
Like I gave you an argument of Kalam
Oh,
argument.
okay. Did you like the answer?
We were talking about the existence of God. Then Horatio came and started explaining about chemical reaction and the existence and Big Bang and many other things. And it was an amalgamation of a lot of things, a lot of different things. We couldn't deduce, and we end up on the fact that we agree to disagree. That is what makes you you, and that is what makes me me.
It's also cool. I mean, if it ended peacefully, that's good. Sometimes it doesn't end like that. So,
Yeah, only when I'm a Muslim or I subscribe to any Islamic notion, like Earth is flat, or there's something called Jannat.
so you were Muslim?
No, I said only when I'm a Muslim. It doesn't end in a good way. It's 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 chaotic to talk to a Muslim.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I'm not a Muslim.
yeah. And it's not always chaotic to talk to a Muslim. We had really good discussions, conversations with Muslims also. Pray for me, I am becoming a
So they are
better
not.
person, but I don't like it. Okay. Hey, possible gods out there. I don't know whether any god exists or not, but if there is a good one who cares about what people feel here, please help to this guy. Yeah, that was my prayer. An agnostic atheist
You
prayer.
can You can have rational conversation with a Muslim only when he is not a fundamentalist or he is not a hardcore believer of what is written in Quran.
Mm, I don't think so. Mm, I mean, I had examples where it was also okay to talk such people, but it depends on the person. Maybe you had bad examples. Why do you think it is chaotic to talk to Muslim? Be rational, be humble.
Yeah.
Humble, okay?
Oh, I got disconnected.
Yeah, yeah. I think uh,
You cannot generalize based. What?
generalize based on your experience. We shouldn't, yeah. I mean, if it's just
Um.
one experience, maybe we shouldn't, yeah.
So I have talked to like hundreds of Muslims on this platform and in my real life as well, and it was very consistent. Like there is a firm consistency in their arguments. I'll give you some examples. Like Muhammad was illiterate. They keep on saying this Muhammad was illiterate and Quran is the word of God. But when you ask the question that who wrote Quran, they don't have any answer.
Okay.
Do you think 100 represent almost? Well, if you're a Muslim, come mic up and talk to us. I'll tell you what you are.
He has the
I can
mic.
give an answer for that. Here's the mic.
Yeah.
Go on. Uh, tell me
Hello.
about yourself. Hello, tell me
Hello.
about yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Where are you from?
I'm from this platform. I think your conclusion is a bit hasty generalization. Of course, you may have bad experience. I have no, maybe, I don't know what I have to say about that. But depending on your bad experience and generalizing that all Muslims are chaotic is, a bit. How can I say, maybe terrible attitude, you know?
Okay, I understand
Yeah,
that.
really. No.
Yeah, it is
Look,
terrible.
I
It is. It
respect
is. I
your
understand
view.
that.
Look, I respect your view. You can criticize a Muslim and Islam or whatever you want because you are free to do that. Okay. So
Yeah.
nobody can enforce you to believe in Allah or in Quran or in Muhammad. Okay. If you believe
Yeah.
that they deserve following them, you will follow it. If you believe that they don't deserve following it, then you will ignore it. But hasty generalization is not good, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or something like that. Maybe talking
I
to,
don't believe. I
okay.
don't believe in any religion. Yeah.
Yeah, that is up to you. That is up to you. I'm not enforcing you or pushing you to believe in certain religion. Okay.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that don't generalize depending on your experience. Maybe the strategy is different
Okay.
from that.
That is different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
maybe
you're from.
situation is even worse than you think. So don't generalize, okay? I'm
Yeah,
joking.
because really,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
you guys now the other one is very positive. Really, I appreciate him. He said I have good experience and maybe you have
Yeah,
bad
that's
experience,
true. I
so
have
it
evidence
depends. He
also.
said this
He,
is very healthy attitude, by the way. Okay, very healthy attitude.
Um.
I don't
Okay.
think he has also not bad experience. Maybe he had bad experience, but still, he's not generalizing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
So are you a good Muslim
Yes.
or a bad Muslim? What do you think about yourself? Are you a good Muslim?
What is your criteria to label me as a good Muslim and a bad Muslim?
I do not have any criteria of good Muslim or bad Muslim. You will tell me by yourself.
Okay.
What
So,
do you
If
think?
it's
what is a
better,
good Muslim according to your view, and what makes Muslim a bad Muslim according to
let's
your
don't
view?
make it like too deep right now. We can
Okay.
go, by the way, but here's the thing. My question is, Spidey, if he
Okay.
says, yes, I'm a good Muslim, you'll take it?
Yeah, I'll take it,
Okay.
and
I don't think he
I'll
will
go
call
further.
himself a bad Muslim. So let's assume that
Then
he's a
I'll
good
ask.
Muslim, okay?
No, no, no. Look, are
There
we
will be a
brother? Let me say something. Look, are you criticizing the religion or the followers? There are two different things here.
no. I never criticize the followers because the followers are manipulated. The religion itself is a manipulator. So
Okay.
I
So you
criticize
are
the religion.
very good. So you are criticizing the religion, not the followers.
Not the followers. Yeah. It's
Okay.
very easy to convince. It's easy to
Very good.
convince them that the
Very
Earth
good.
is flat by giving some rationale because they don't know anything. I'll give them some scientific evidence. I'll give them some research papers, and they will strongly believe what I'm saying. That's
Hmm.
pretty easy.
Okay, great. Okay, let me ask you one question. You said that you are disbeliever, maybe. Okay. So what is your source? Where you come from? You came from nothing or you came from something?
I came from a chemical reaction.
Chemical reaction. Okay,
It was natural.
perfect. Okay, stop
Yeah.
there. Where's that chemical reaction came from? And who told
Well,
you that you are happened from chemical reaction?
the science itself says that we are the product of a bunch of chemical reaction, as we study about different phenomena of physics and biology and chemistry as well.
Okay.
So it's all
So
natural. There is no like when you
can you create someone like you depending using those chemical reaction, or that is already done and
well,
it will not happen?
yeah, your question doesn't prove that it's God who is doing all these things.
No, no, leave aside about the God. Okay, now we are not getting to that. You told me that you happened from chemical reaction, right? Okay. So,
Yeah,
for
in order
example,
to
look,
understand,
now we are using this platform, and an expert can make exactly the same platform because he's an expert and he know how to do things. Okay. If you
yeah,
believe
exactly.
so, if you believe so, human is happened or created from chemical reaction. Can you please create a human being like you, or can you tell me that those chemical reactions that comes together and create a human being? So I'll create a good friend for myself.
Hey, tell me about yourself. Well, how can I call you shorter?
You can address me TM
Yeah, okay,
as
good.
TM. Yeah.
So, TM, look, that's a really bad argument, okay? And you understand about logic, I see. Just because he cannot create something, or just because scientists cannot create something right now, that doesn't prove that it has been made by someone else. That's
Okay,
a
great.
logical
Okay.
fallacy. You should know that.
Perfect. Okay. How do you prove the existence of fallacy?
By just stating the
Or for
mistake that you
you,
just did.
what is the science? Okay. What
Yeah,
is the science
that's
for you?
it doesn't follow. I cannot create something now. That doesn't mean someone did it. Okay. For example,
What is the science? What is the science for you?
the
According to your
science I
understanding.
observe things that they happen. They have causes, and they're not humans. For example, can I create a tree? No, the trees are
Yes, of
existing,
course you can
appearing in the
create. Yes,
nature.
yes, of course you can create. Yes,
Uh,
of course you can
I
create.
can create trees.
Yes.
Let me give you another example. Okay. So
Okay.
we didn't know like how the heat comes from the sun. Okay, how it has been generated. I'm talking about like fission, fusion, whatever the physical
We
process going on in the sun. Okay,
we
the
have a
star.
formula for that
Yeah,
also.
but we were not able to do that, right? Last century,
We can
we
we
couldn't.
can we can
Right
we
now we
can do
can.
that.
Right now we can do that, but in the last century we couldn't do that. Okay. At
Okay.
that time, if I say, hey, can you create a sun? No. Oh, therefore someone created the sun. That would be a big mistake. That's already a fallacious argument. But anyway, there is a proof right now that now we can do it. Okay. Now we have the
Okay.
technology. Now we have the knowledge, and we can do that.
Okay. We are
So,
creating something from something, right? Not from nothing,
who said
isn't
that the
it?
universe came from nothing?
Sorry.
Who said that the universe came from nothing?
Universe came from nothing.
Who says
No,
that?
I didn't say that. Universe came from
Then
something.
why we're talking about like coming from
Then,
nothing?
no, if we are talking about something, you are dragging us to the Big Bang theory.
Okay, let's go Big Bang Theory.
Okay,
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
As you're understanding, look, now there is a basic certain things that we need to, understand.
okay, let's
Uh,
try to understand.
for example, a science, let us understand from the science, so that helps us or maybe make our life easy to understand how Big Bang theory happened and when it is happened, why it is happened.
Okay.
Okay, but if we say or if we read a book and say that Big Bang theory happened, why? Because it happened. That does not make a sense.
Oh, it doesn't make
Okay.
sense. God did it also, right? You just read a religious book and you believe that it
No,
has
no,
been
no, no.
created
It's
by a
not about a
God.
religious book. It is not. I'm not talking to you from perspective of a Quran or a
And you
Bible
have
or another
nothing to
thing.
say that there is a God, God created this. You have nothing
Did,
to base
did I
your
say? Did
claim.
I use a word God so far? No.
You don't have to
But
use a
I'm
word. You're a Muslim, right?
now put that aside. I'm
Why
asking
should I
you.
put it aside, man? This is your belief. You believe
But
that there's a super
okay,
powerful
look.
creator
If
outside
if
who
we
created this
didn't
universe,
agree
even
on
from
basic
nothing.
things, or if we didn't agree on basic things, how we do agree that
What's that?
being
What's the basic thing that we didn't agree so far? Do you agree on Big Bang?
yes, of course.
I also agree. So tell me one thing that we didn't agree so far.
You didn't prove me, okay, how things happen.
I don't have to prove. I don't know how things happen. There's no
Okay.
disagreement here. You see? So what's the problem so far? I don't see any problem so far or any disagreement here.
Oh, you told me that I cannot create a tree. I said you can create it. You
Well,
said
that's
that I
okay.
cannot create an energy.
That's
You
okay.
said
That's okay. But the
okay.
example that I have given to you, just because we cannot do something, that doesn't mean someone did it. It's simple. How
Of
you can
course.
understand that?
No, 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 no. No. Yeah. Look, how you can create something without having something, by the way. You cannot create something from nothing. Tell me that
Who
that is
said
correct.
that we can create something from nothing? Who said that? No one said it. I asked you, and you said, "Oh
Okay,
no, no, we're not
great.
talking about that." That was my
Okay,
question,
great.
by the way.
Okay. Something must be there, right? To create
Yes,
something,
to code
isn't it?
something. Yeah,
Very good.
something is
Who
there.
created that something? Now my question is who created that something?
That's the false question. That's also a logical question.
Why it is a
There's another
logical question?
because
Why
you're
it is a
assuming
logical question?
that it
Okay,
cannot exist without a creator. You're assuming that.
okay. No, look.
No,
If I
no,
see, no, no, no.
that's
Okay,
your
forget about
assumption.
that.
No, no, no.
Okay,
We
I
cannot.
came to your
This is
room,
the main topic. We are not forgetting about that. We are
brother. I
arguing
came to
exactly
your
about
room.
this one.
Listen to me, please. I came to your room. You have a computer, a mobile phone, and other
Those
stuffs
things
in your
have
room.
creators. Yes, that's true.
No, no, no. Wait, 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 wait. So I asked about those stuffs that saw in your room. I said, who brought this computer to your room? You said, I
Definitely
don't know.
someone. No, I didn't say that. I had never said that, and you have never asked me that question. Also,
It's the same thing
no,
we
it's
are
not the
talking
same
by the way.
thing. Just
Look,
because we
just,
create something, that doesn't mean
just
everything has a creator. You should
imagine the
understand
world
that.
as small as your room. Okay, imagine the world like that. Okay, let's say we have
You
something.
can't do
Where
that.
that something comes from?
Okay, where the gods come from? Where the God comes from? Answer this. Who created God?
That is what
Answer
I am
me.
asking you,
No, you're not asking this to me. I'm asking you because you are the one who believes a God exists, and
brother.
I assume you believe this. God
We
doesn't have
said
a
that
cause, doesn't have a
nothing will
creator.
happen without nothing, without
No
something,
problem.
right?
Okay, so who created God? God cannot happen without something, right? According to your reasoning, who created God? What's the cause of God?
But you jump it to God
Yes,
without telling
exactly.
me how things is created.
I just said I don't know, and if you say these things have been created, this is again an assumption. You don't have any justification where you're assuming these have been created. What if, like, everything was here and they're just changing.
No, I have justification, but
No,
you
you
are
don't
jumping
have. You don't
here and
have.
there. Look, look,
Yes,
look.
I'm jumping there to solve the problem immediately, and you want to
Not to
escape
solve the
because you don't
problem.
have an
Not to
answer
solve
for
the
that.
problem, to make a lot of problem for yourself. It's
Nope.
not to
No,
solve the
it's a
problem.
problem for you. That's why you're escaping and you're complaining.
No, no, no. I'm not complaining, brother.
You
You
are.
that is
You are.
you have. Why I complain?
Then okay, stop complaining or whatever you are doing. You think you're this is not a complaint. Okay, stop whatever you are doing right now. Answer my question. Who created God?
Who created God?
Yeah.
Okay, but you didn't answer me.
I said
Who
I don't
created
know.
things?
And I explained to you that that's a false question. Okay?
Okay, this is also false question. If that is
Which
a false
one?
question, this
If
must be also the false
that's
question.
true, you see, oh, you're so reasonable, man. Yeah, I asked the false question intentionally to show you that that's a false question, right? Because just
Hmm.
because I assume that God has a creator, and I ask who created your God, that doesn't mean someone created your God. And by your belief, by
Look,
your
look.
definition, God doesn't have
No,
a creator.
look, look. You are infidel.
Infidel.
You cannot believe in that.
I
Okay,
cannot
God
believe in
cannot
what.
be created, cannot be gotten. Okay, that is attribute of the God.
Yeah, that's
God
how
is
you
a
define a
super.
God. That's how you
Listen,
define an imagination. Yeah.
that is a superpower. It's not imagination. I
It's
can prove it
it
to you.
is. It is. Like you don't have proof for that. You're just defining something that doesn't mean it's real.
Okay,
I can define Superman also here. That doesn't mean Superman is real.
okay. Define it for me.
Like Superman is a human-like creature, came from another planet, who can fly without any tool and can throw
Who made
laser
that
beams
Superman?
through his eyes. Okay,
Yeah, brother.
that's the
Look,
definition of Superman.
you you you,
So
you are
just
using
because I
no, no.
define that, that means it's real. It's here. No.
Hold on, please. Okay, maybe you are using a computer or maybe you are using a mobile, right?
Yeah.
Yes, on
Right.
this platform. Okay. Now, if I ask you who created this mobile,
Humans.
you cannot say Superman or this man or that man.
Definitely, I cannot say. Yeah. What's the point?
Okay. Then, how that mobiles come? From where it came?
From humans.
From humans. Okay.
Man,
Who
like,
created that?
how many times I should answer the same stupid question? I answered this 5 times at least so far.
We need to have certain source, right?
Certain source. Okay, yeah, the source is the universe, right? We use the material in this universe. We make
Universe.
things, we
Great.
craft things, right?
Who created that universe? Who created that
Yes.
universe?
Yeah,
Who
again, that's a
created
false
that universe?
question. That's a false question. I'll ask the same false question to you. Who
No,
created God?
look, you say everything I ask to you, you say false question.
No,
But
no, not
again,
everything.
you
Not
mention,
everything. You
listen,
just repeat the
look,
same question. That's fine. I keep
I'm not
saying this
repeating
is
the
a
same
false
question.
question.
You are already finished, by the way. You have
Nope.
definitely answered the question. I
Yeah.
asked
Now
you,
it's
do
your
you think,
turn.
can you listen to me, please?
No,
I
I'm not.
asked
No, wait a
you,
second. No, I'm not listening. I'm not listening to you. Okay. So
okay,
here's your turn. Okay. I say I don't know, even to your false question. If there's a creator, I don't know who created this universe. I don't know how many creators created this universe. I don't know the answer. Now it's your turn. Answer my question.
okay,
Who
great.
created the creator of this universe?
Okay, great. I'll answer that one. Okay. But you told me that something must be there. Okay. We didn't came just from a dream or from imagination.
Hmm.
We came from something you said, right?
Yeah, this universe. I said this universe clearly.
This universe.
Yeah, that's what I
Where
said.
does this universe comes from, do you
That
believe?
was a false question, but I answered your question. Okay, I said I don't know. So now
Okay.
it's your turn. Why
Very
are
good.
you? Why you
I
just
don't look,
repeat
look.
things?
I don't know is a great question, a great answer. Okay. Good. I accept that. You don't know. But let me tell you who created it. If you can listen to me.
I'm listening to
Okay.
you. If you're
If you
answering the
don't
question,
know, if you don't know who the creator is, let me tell you who the creator is.
I don't need
But
that.
don't
No, I don't need that. I don't need that. Please answer my question. I answered your question. Okay.
so if you
Now
don't need
it's
that,
your
what do you
turn.
want from me?
It's
Tell me
your
what do you want from me?
turn. I want to show you that you are committing a stupid mistake here. I want to show that. That's what I want right now. So tell me, it's your turn.
Look,
If
okay.
If you're
If
sincere
I am
here,
making a stupid
I answered
mistake, look,
your
look, I am
question. Now
ready
it's
to
your
correct.
turn to
Look,
answer
look,
my
I am
question.
ready. Brother, hold on. If I am making a stupid mistake, help me to understand and correct my mistake.
Oh,
But if you have, listen,
oh,
listen.
I did it
If
many
you
times. I'll
wait,
mute you this
wait,
time. I'll help you to understand your mistake, okay? So you were saying who created this? I said this is a false question because you're assuming that it has a creator. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a cause. Things have causes. That's what we observe. And this universe might have a cause and might have many causes. We don't know that. And when you say who created it, that doesn't mean someone did it. Again, for example, if you see a dead body on the floor, if I say who killed this person, you can say, are you stupid, man? Like no one killed. He just died. It was heart attack. So just because something happens, that doesn't mean someone is the answer always. That's the problem. That's why it's a false question because you're assuming wait, the cause must be someone. And now I want to learn who did it. And again, you can be wrong. Maybe it's not someone, maybe it's something. That's why it's a false question because you don't know. The answer is either someone or something. If it's something, then who created this is a false question. That's the explanation. And I am asking the same question to you, which I didn't get any answer so far because you don't want to answer because you're afraid of answering. Who created the God is the same illogical question. I'm just asking the question in that way because you are asking the question in the same way. So if you can ask illogical questions, I can also ask illogical questions. Now, what's your answer? Who created God? You can easily learn that just because you ask who created something, that doesn't mean it has a creator. You can learn that from your beliefs because your God doesn't have a creator. So asking who created it doesn't make sense because you define your God as an uncreated being. So that means something, someone can exist with no creator. If one thing can exist with no creator, then any other thing can exist with no creator. So in this case, maybe this universe doesn't have a creator. And I answered, honestly, I don't know. But if I buy your logic, if we think that there is something with no cause, okay, then why not this universe? Why it's your God? Maybe this universe doesn't have a cause. Why you don't accept that? No, we are not. Like if I buy his logic, I can easily accept that the universe doesn't have a cause. Now we solve the infinite regress problem. Simple, very simple. And thanks for the believers, like for solving this infinite regress problem, which is not a big problem for me. But anyway, you guys think that it's a problem, and you guys give the solution. You create the problem, you solve the problem. That's good. At least you solved your own problem. For atheist people, it's not a big problem, but we don't have to argue about that. I'm okay with first cause. I'm okay with something which doesn't have a cause. I'm very okay with that. And it can be your God, even. I'm even okay with that. But it doesn't have to be your God. It can be any other thing. It can be this universe, or there can be other beings who are the first causes. And you guys are definitely against that. Based on what? Based on books that you believe.
The book itself is coming from the God.
Evidence?
Well, you cannot ask for the evidence all the time.
All the
Sometimes we
time?
don't have evidence, but we believe. Yeah.
Sure, you can believe. But what you believe doesn't necessarily have to be the right thing, or it doesn't have to be true. It can be a false thing
So
that you believe.
if I ask you, do you have consciousness
Yeah.
or do you have logic?
We use
Do you
logic.
have any evidence?
Okay, wait a second. Alex, you think that you can do it forever? So what about consciousness, man? Like, what's the problem with consciousness?
Yeah. So when I say that the book Quran is coming from the God, and you say what is the evidence? There are several other things which have no evidence, but they exist.
But they exist.
Yeah, they
How
exist.
do you know that they
So
exist?
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
say, or you say,
Just because I
we
say that
agree on the
doesn't mean
fact that
it exists.
no, so, okay, so you are trying to say what I've said in order to prove me wrong. Well, do you feel you're conscious?
So what?
I know, like, what is evidence that you're conscious?
I like first of all, like I don't want to talk about consciousness, okay? It's not my claim and it's not one of the topics here. But the way that you define consciousness, you can easily find evidence for that. And I can't define consciousness right now. But
This
I'm
is
sure
how,
you can define consciousness in a way that you can easily prove that it exists.
exactly, this is how we also prove that
Nope.
this is coming
It's
from
not the
God.
same
Quran is word
thing.
of.
It's not the same thing. But
It
anyway, as I
is.
said, I don't want to talk about consciousness since it's a topic
Anyways,
that people don't have good knowledge about it. Even right now, people are studying about it, how it appears. People don't have good arguments, evidence about that. So I don't want to talk about consciousness or gravity. These are not our
okay,
topics, okay?
okay, fine.
Yeah, but you
Where
can't you
is this
can't say that
tea?
they are the same topics.
Yeah. Well, I was just asking you a question. I'm not a Muslim, so where are you, TM? Lebanese? Is he from?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what I said. Who created God? He's searching for the creator of God.
So God knows who created him. I know that I was created by God,
And God was created by another creator.
but God knows that, right?
Oh, no,
Like if
maybe
I know my
not.
father, doesn't necessarily. Yeah, if I know my father, I don't have to know whether my father has a father or not, or something. He
Yeah.
knows his father. His father knows his father.
Well, what if the creator
You
of this
better ask.
universe, what if the creator of this universe is also agnostic? He looks at the thing
Oh well,
he created.
you say that the creator of this god, this world is either something or someone.
If it's someone, he
But
can be or he should be agnostic
why what makes you think so?
because he can observe what he's doing. He's causing other things. He's creating humans. And he may think that, wait a second, what if I have been created like that?
Yeah, he created human being.
If
So
that's the case. So he might think, or maybe he should think that, oh, wait, what if I have been created by someone else also?
okay, but there's a chain of creation. Like if you study evolution and other things, like if you study science, like a bunch of millions of organisms gathering together to create a membrane, and a million of membranes gathering together to create an outer layer of any cell, and then prokaryotes, eukaryotes, and this is how we have conducted study in biology. So of course this was done by a creator. Of course
Of
it
course,
has to be someone mastermind.
of
It
course.
cannot be done by something. Like it has to be someone, not something.
It has to be someone. Like, how do you know that? You're just
Yeah,
assuming
because
that.
it takes a lot of perfect things aligning together
Perfect things.
to create, to produce, yeah, perfect things aligning together. And like think for a
The
while,
universe had
if
plenty of time to align those things randomly. Plenty of time.
you think it's
I will give
random.
you 1 million years to imagine. Just try to think about 1 million years right now. Just try to think, okay? Like it sounds like
Okay,
a small number to many people. They don't grasp how big it is when you apply it to the time. Just think about 10,000 years. We even lose history. There's no even, uh letters, right? Writing. People don't write even 10,000 years ago. Imagine imagine that, man. How we came here from 10,000. Or try to imagine 1,000. That's very close, right? Or
That
try to
is
imagine 100,000. 100.
okay.
Yeah, and think about
So
1
what
million.
what are you trying to establish?
Well, what I'm trying to establish is the universe had plenty of time. Plenty of time. I can't even imagine properly. I'm that's why I'm thinking small numbers, relatively. 1 million is even too big for me to imagine what could happen in 1 million years. That's so big, man. Very big. And imagine 1 billion. That's mind blowing for
Okay.
me. And saying that, oh, all those perfect, by the way, they're not perfect things. But yeah, there are many things that aligned. I see that. But in the first place, it was not as complex as this right now that you see. Okay. People look at the human body, people look at the human eyes, they say, oh, look at that. Who says that it was like this at the beginning? It was not like this at the beginning. So people just look at the more complex one and they say, oh, look, this can't exist by chance. Okay, yeah, this is too very complex. Yeah, but no one claims that it started like this. It started from the simple. You just focus on the simple ones, and then focus on the time that passed in the universe. It's a huge time.
But is well, I couldn't deduce anything out of your argument when you say that it's a huge time or something, because it doesn't prove me wrong so far.
It doesn't prove you also.
Well, it's well, if you're saying so, okay, wait a second. Let me formulate this. If you say God doesn't exist or it's something else, we don't know. If I say there is God, again, we don't know. It's all about, there's something called burden of proof, where you have to prove if there is God, and you have to prove if there is something else other than God.
And it's
And
your
we have
job to
failed
prove
to.
the God.
Yeah, but what if God doesn't want by himself to show himself, or to be proved,
It's not my
something
problem,
like that?
man. That means you can't prove a God exists. That also. That's the thing also. So if you can't
That
prove
is not.
God, it means like nearly he doesn't exist, right? Or that there's no good evidence to believe that he exists, and there won't be
So
if that's what God wants.
exactly.
So that means
So
logically you
so is the
can't be a
case.
believer, or you shouldn't be because there's
So
no
is the
evidence for
case.
that.
So is the case with consciousness. If we have to
But,
prove what is consciousness,
but
we prove, we bring other.
okay, I give you time to think about what we were speaking before. I told you I don't want to talk about consciousness. It's not my claim. I don't want to talk about gravity. It's also a stupid argument to prove God's existence. Okay? I don't have claim about consciousness. I can easily say I don't believe in consciousness. I don't know about consciousness. I can easily escape from that. Okay? It's not my claim. But give me some minutes. I need to check something. Okay, sorry. So you were talking about the burden of the proof.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't claim that there's no God. Okay. As you see, I'm agnostic. I just don't believe. I'm not convinced that a God exists. Again, that doesn't mean there's no any God. Maybe there is, maybe there are. I don't know. And I don't have good evidence to believe that there is one. That's all. But yeah, if you understand about the burden of the proof, it's not on me, it's on the people who believe that a God exists. And even they don't have to do that because I respect people who say that I believe in God. I don't care whether it's true or false because thinking that a God exists gives me a lot of advantages, benefits. Then okay, you can believe in God. There's nothing to argue about that. Owner, may I ask? It's better if you ask to the mic. Is God black or white? As I said, I don't know whether any God exists or not, so I don't know the answer of your question. And are you stupid, man? I just said I don't know any God exists or not. So why are you asking the color of God to me? That's clearly I don't know. Yeah, you're bad. Oh, we have lost a Spidey. Okay. Maybe it's time to refresh the room. Okay. See you in the other room. Okay. It's hard to find people at this hour, unfortunately. I will stay around a little bit more, then I will end this probably short.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm okay. How about you?
I am great. What about you? And how is your discussion? Do you discuss a lot of whatever?
We had one. It was okay. It was just okay.
That's great. That's great. Uh, I put a thumb.
Okay.
Have an enjoyable time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, well, what was the problem? with the account. Why did he do that?
Sorry, what did you say?
It wasn't for you. Don't worry. Okay. I hope he had good reasons for it. Okay. Alex. Maria. Let's have some limitations here. So, for the people who don't know, we have specific topics here: God, atheism, agnosticism, morality, afterlife, soul, existence of religions, and the purpose of life. And for the people who don't like reading or who cannot read, this is live on YouTube now. The name of my channel is Philosopher. And you can choose any topic here and we can talk, we can discuss. Or as Alex did, you can check the channel first. You're gonna have an idea about what's going on here. Then maybe we can talk. Or maybe you decide that it's so fucking shitty and you shouldn't waste your time, maybe. Abula, do you still think that it's a proper intro? Oh, what's the name of the channel? Philosopher. I'll help you guys, by the way. It's very easy to find, but some people are really insisting about the link. So here is the link. Nubia. Elisher. Yeah. Even better. Okay. Yeah, that's good. The people can check, people can decide, they can evaluate whether they should waste their times or not, whether they can enjoy or not, or whether they can find something new or not. Since people have a lot of reasons to have a conversation or to have a discussion, people can check and decide that. Okay, we have some people, but no speakers. Mohammed, Andre.
Hi,
Hi, man.
hello,
Welcome.
good evening.
Good night. Good morning.
How is it going?
Hello, hello,
That's okay.
Hey,
How about
long
there?
time. Good, good,
hello.
good.
Hello, man.
Did you find God or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Can
So
you
what have
arrange a
you?
meeting with God?
Can I arrange you what?
A meeting.
A meeting. Okay, okay. Well, you can always be in contact with God. You can always speak to God and talk to God.
Talk
And you
to God.
may, yes, you may wonder like how can you talk to God? Well,
No, I don't wonder about
Uh,
that. I wonder that
as
if I start talking,
yes,
either I'm just imagining that I'm talking to a god, or I literally
okay.
talk to a god. So and I know that I can't find out the answer, and that's bothering for me because I may tell you that, hey, you should start talking to aliens. They can hear you. They have that power,
Mm.
telepathic powers. Just start talking to them, and they're listening. Would you start talking to them, or would
Yeah,
you
I
think that
do.
I'm
I do.
crazy? That
No, I mean, the sentence itself, talk to God, might sounds crazy, but it's not. It's a reality. You can always talk to God. I talk to God through
what if there's no
prayers.
one listening? That what if there's no God? That means no one is listening those things, and you think that there is a God and God is listening to you.
Well, what about like you talk to God and you see reactions
If you see
and
reactions,
consequences?
that's something
Yes,
else. Okay, let's talk to God right now. Hey God,
and you're a, and
can you
you
fill
like
my
as
fill my
yes.
cup right now? Okay, there's no answer for that.
Well,
Hey God,
yeah.
can you type I'm listening you on my phone right now or on my screen, big one, or on my laptop screen. I am listening you in the middle. Okay, God is not replying. What does that mean? God doesn't care about that? Or God doesn't exist? Or it takes time to reach my message? Yeah, can you hit like and subscribe? That was brutal.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me see what's going on in your live stream.
Can I ask you, are you agnostic or you're atheist?
The agnostic atheist.
I mean, those terms are not the same, as far as I know.
Yeah, that and they're not contradictory, so you can be both.
So agnostic is someone who not in denial of God, the idea of God. It's someone who like accept the idea that there might be something that
There might
beyond
be.
your understanding.
And
Whereas
that doesn't
atheist
mean
is
they
in
think that
denial,
there
complete
is.
denial. Sorry?
They don't think that there is. They say, well, maybe there is a God, or maybe there's no God.
Yep. Yeah. I
They don't
mean,
know
that's
the
what I'm saying.
answer. Oh, say it's me.
Where
I don't
atheist is
know.
someone who is complete denial, like it
No,
could
it's
be a
not a
scientific
complete
approach. You
denial.
might
No, that's not true. I mean, that's
atheist.
true for hard atheist people. There are
Mhm.
hard atheists. Yeah, they can be completely in denial of the
Let's
existence of
ask
God.
tragic.
But yeah, ask how many types of atheism? There are two types of atheism, hard and soft. And the soft ones also called as agnostic atheists.
No, agnostic atheists are not the same, but they are related to one another. Atheist is a lack of belief in the existence of
Yeah,
God.
you
Of
see,
God.
it doesn't say.
Agnosticism.
Alex, like, well, why the
You,
hell, why the hell you ask such a question? Because no one said that they're the same. No one claimed that.
I mean, you have on your profile picture, you have
Yeah, but
the
I
agnostic.
just said that they're different. I didn't say they're the same. And you see that they're
No, you
different,
didn't.
right?
You just a minute ago you say that it's quite similar.
No, I didn't say that. I said they're different and they're
I
not
don't remember if you
contradicting,
say
and you can
similar
be
or the same,
both.
but I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could be. I'm not arguing.
Okay. But yeah, since you read the definitions right now, so there, there are people who don't know God exists or not, and they lack belief in God. That's an agnostic atheist.
So, who you would be consider yourself?
Oh my God. then we're not communicating. Then that's the problem.
It's just a
Why are
simple
you
question.
so disrespectful?
Who is disrespectful right now?
You are, as
Uh,
the owner of the channel.
I think you guys are disrespectful right now because I said clearly that I am an agnostic atheist. It's written on my profile, and you keep asking irrelevant questions, wasting time here. That's not respectful, also.
May I add here that Alex just was really curious about what agnostic
He
atheist
was
means.
making ignorant claims about those terms.
No, they're not really ignorant. It's just that he
It
tried
was.
to figure out the meaning.
He
At
even
first,
asked a false question to the AI. And I was like, wow, why he's asking such a question? Because that was not my claim.
when you look at those words together, like agnostic atheist, they can sound like they're not really compatible, you know? So that's okay for people to have such questions and even to ask something like
Sure,
that.
I was trying to explain, but he
Like
was in the mood of
if I
discussion.
say, yeah, like if I say, for example, I'm a Muslim Nazi, there is no such thing, right?
Muslim Nazi?
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, yeah, you like mixing
It's not about
ananas
liking, man.
with
It's
cucumber, right?
what do you have, man? Yeah, you can mix cucumber with anything.
Okay, okay. No, for real, like we're talking seriously here.
Oh, I was talking seriously also. Yeah, we were talking about praying, right, Andre?
Well, Andre,
Yes, that's what I said. I said I talk to God through prayers.
Mhm. And I just
Yeah.
did it, and then still I don't get any answer. So what does that mean right
What
now?
What was your question? Did you ask me a question?
No, no, I didn't ask you a question. I prayed to your God,
Okay.
and I didn't get any answer.
Well, I prayed to your Jesus, and I
On
didn't
Jesus.
get an answer.
I don't believe in Jesus. Who said that I believe in Jesus?
Okay.
How many times should I say that I don't believe a God exists?
I mean,
why
I
do
could
why
be.
don't you believe in Jesus, agnostic?
As,
Oh, that's
as
funny
a God,
again.
I don't believe in any God because there's no good evidence for that.
Okay,
That's why.
like, but why? Which theory do you study?
I don't need to
Flat
study
Earth?
any theory.
You don't study.
Like, so what is your reason to not believe
Just
in God?
answered. I don't see good evidence to believe that that's the case. If I claim to you that I can
Okay,
fly
so
like
can
a
I ask
bird
you a few
without any tool,
questions?
would you believe in that?
Can I
Yes,
ask you
honey.
a few
If you don't want to listen
questions?
any questions from other people when you're having a conversation, you will not be able to have a good conversation. You should know that also. Some people were trying to teach about respect just minutes ago. I think you missed that lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's
All
my
right.
turn.
So
I was asking a question, but anyway. Go,
yes,
Andre,
yeah.
go.
So just saying hi to the newcomers here, and for Honey, since you're new here, a noob, a beginner, we have this kind of moderated religious debate here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, but like it would be much better if you choose the right vocabulary, you know what I mean? Everyone have
Okay.
belief, okay? You believe in Buddha. I am a Muslim. He is agnostic or atheist, I
I
don't know.
don't believe in Buddha.
Yes, so we ask questions and we seek for answers. Yeah. And we are live
Okay.
streaming right now on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there are how many? Uh 24K. Yeah, 24,000 people are watching you and listening to you right now. So be wise asking questions. Please go ahead, honey.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to ask agnostic atheist that why don't you believe in God? So he said,
Answered.
"Oh no, I
Yeah.
just yeah."
I answered the question two times. I didn't say no. I said I don't believe a God exists because I don't see good evidence to believe.
Okay. So my counter question is that um, how are you able to speak a language? How are you able to eat food? How are you able to move your body from one place to another? Like,
Those are very different
what has
questions.
created you in the person you are today?
My mother, father.
And when you go back in time and back in time,
Let's
who?
go back in time.
Yeah.
Becomes ambiguous. Even asking who did it is doesn't make sense because we don't know if there was someone behind all those things. We don't know that, so you can't claim that someone did it. If you think that there's always someone behind everything, then who's behind the
Yeah.
creator of this universe? Who's behind the creator of this universe? Probably you will say, "Oh, no one is
So,
behind," right?
so do you agree with the fact that you have a limited knowledge, or
Sure,
you think
definitely.
that you have a knowledge of this earth and multi-universe and spiritual realm?
Spiritual
Like how
realm.
far do you think your knowledge extends? Like,
Well, I know limited things, and even I'm
yeah.
suspicious about those
So,
things.
yeah, yeah, that is correct. You think
So what?
that your knowledge is limited. So
So what?
So now, whatever you see, you think, okay, whatever I'm seeing, whatever I'm feeling, and whatever I'm talking is 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 what your limited brain is working
Yeah.
under and is
So
surrounded by.
what? So what?
But
Again,
when you
Well,
when you leave the flesh, you will understand the spiritual
I
realm.
will
So that
understand.
is what God is.
Prove me.
So that
all
is
right.
what
Prove me. What's your
God
Uh,
is.
evidence? Prove me. What's your evidence for that?
hey, excuse me, both of you, hear me out. I totally agree what this girl is saying, and like in order to prove you that you are not very intelligent, is when you think that you are not very intelligent. Okay, if you go back to Darwin and the Big Bang, yeah, that that's actually kind of humiliating the human's brain and the ability or the capability of thinking. Okay, God has created us in the best view. Okay,
This
and
is the best you think?
preferred us with, yes, it is. It is
That's so
immersive. The
funny.
the
That's so
human,
funny.
the biological, our biological
I just want to say
creation
that
is
let him
crazy.
finish, and then we can have a
It's immersive.
counter questions.
He was the one
Yes,
who interrupted,
yes.
okay? And
Wait,
then I
wait, wait.
let him to interfere.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and I couldn't
So,
finish. I
so,
just
so,
started. I
so,
couldn't finish. So,
so,
like, did you listen her? You were listening and you were agreeing, Andre.
I agree. I totally agree
If
with
you agree,
what she's
then now you
saying.
should
Yes.
let me finish because she said let him
Mm-hmm.
finish, and you were the one who interrupted me.
I
Okay.
am finishing. I'm finishing. I'm finishing.
But okay, so
Just,
now you
just,
don't want to listen her, but you were agreeing
just
with
a
her,
I will listen to her. Yes, just
not her.
a quick conclusion. Hear me out.
Go go go.
Just a quick conclusion. Okay, that our human brain is way, way, way more capable of thinking and reaching immersive levels of thinking. Our human brain can do much, much things. Okay, that Big Bang and uh, the theory, those are just theories, right? So our human brain, according to that theory, our human brain is just an organ. Okay, is not capable of reaching that spiritual knowledge, right?
Okay,
Is that
and
what you think? Is that what you think? You are not intelligent? Is that why? Because you think our human brain is not designed to reach that level of believing in God and
who said
thinking
that?
about God existence.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Who said what?
Like we can't reach such kind of beliefs.
No,
Who said
that
that?
was a question. I'm asking you, like, is that why you think? I'm
Why
guessing.
do I think what?
Why do you think you are not intelligent?
Who said that I'm not intelligent? Who said that?
You said that.
I have never said such a thing.
Okay, what was your answer when she asked you that question
Well,
earlier?
maybe you shouldn't
I'm
entrap me like
mysterious.
to know what is my answer. I just asked her a
Yeah.
question. I didn't claim anything.
Okay,
She
okay. I
said
thought you.
that we reach
Mhm.
this spiritual thing when we die, and I asked, "What's your evidence?" That was all.
Okay.
So yeah, what's the
Wow.
answer?
Intelligence is sexy. That's the answer.
But not the answer of that question.
So
Yeah.
now, can I say something?
Yeah,
Well,
please go.
do you want to answer the question instead,
What
saying something?
question?
Oh, okay. You see the problem here? She's not
There are
even
so many problems.
listening. She's not even listening.
Okay, wait. You have a question for her,
I
right?
had, yeah.
Okay,
I
can you repeat
hardly
the question?
asked. Yeah. She claimed
Okay.
something. Do you remember what she claimed?
I'm distracted. I'm sorry.
You're distracted. You even don't listen to her. What the fuck is going on here? No one is
I
listening each
heard what
other.
she said.
No
Yeah,
one
but
is listening each
okay,
other.
since you remember the question, could you
She
repeat
was
the
claiming
question?
that we reach the spiritual realm when we die. And my question was, what's your
Yeah.
evidence for that?
Okay, honey, do you have an answer for his question?
I don't like that nickname.
I was writing. Can you please repeat it? Sorry.
Do you believe that we can only reach that spiritual experience when we die?
No.
Okay, we can reach it in during lifetime, right? We can experience
Yeah.
that
And what's the evidence
Yeah.
for that?
spiritual.
Evidence.
Sure,
Yeah.
evidence. You claim that you can reach spiritual
Okay.
realms. I don't believe in
So
that.
okay. So if we talk, like I was reading the comments, so I read Big Bang Theory and Darwin's theory. So even Darwin did not had evidence to actually prove it that humans were apes, and that we don't have evidence to actually prove that Big Bang Theory actually happened. So how
Oh,
can you
you don't.
question the spiritual realm when you have
Okay.
not experienced it? Like, it is a experience. You cannot
Just because you
have
have a
evidence for
dream,
it.
that doesn't mean it's an external reality. Okay, first you have to prove something, then maybe we can start investigating and then believing in it. But just because you claim something, that doesn't mean it's true. Okay, it might be true, maybe it's true, I don't know that. But since
Okay,
you are the
so
one who
what?
claims that, you are supposed to prove that there is such kind of a realm.
Yeah, okay,
Do you,
I'm
do you, do you
thinking.
believe in astral travel?
What?
Do you believe in astral travel?
Yes, I do that.
You
Like,
do
I've
that.
experienced.
Okay, like please do it. Okay, perform such a thing and tell me what I'm doing right now in my room. That would be
What are
great
you doing?
evidence. Yeah, what am I doing in my room? Just do that travel, okay? And tell me what you are observing right now. And it's including what I am doing right now. Then that will be great evidence for me to believe that okay, you can spiritually travel around the world. And that's a good evidence for me to believe that, oh, wait, yeah, probably that's true. If she's not a hacker,
I would give you an exercise, not exercise, but an experiment to sit alone by all yourself and
experiment, I'm giving you the
just
experiment.
close your eyes and think that who are you and why were you why are you in this world, and what is your purpose,
I
and
do it every day.
why do you have to be an atheist and
I don't
not
have to be.
rely and not like believe in the things which you do not see?
That's waste of a time.
All right, so none of you is going to the other's room. Yeah, you stay in your room. She stays in her room. Okay.
Mm, no.
No, no visiting
No, no, no,
others'
no.
room. Yeah,
That's not true because I think about those things every day. I create these topics every day. I think
I
about
know.
existence every day.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you every day if you found God or not yet.
Yeah.
So good luck, and I'm wishing you best of luck
Why would you? I
finding.
believe in the things that
God.
I see only because it's reasonable, rational. If I claim that
Well,
I have
yeah,
invisible wings that I can fly like angels
yeah,
or birds, you wouldn't believe in it. Okay. And if I say, "Oh, why you don't believe? You don't see, but you should believe." What the fuck? You don't believe, right? You shouldn't believe.
yeah. All right, so I'm not here to trying so hard to convince you that God exists
You
and we
can
are
do
all
that.
creation. I'm not doing that. No, I'm here
You
just
can do
for
that.
uh, I'm here for like a cool conversations, nice conversations. We learn
Sorry
things from
that
each
I'm not
other.
cool always.
I see. Yeah, sometimes you get temper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's mostly because of
you
other
get mad.
people.
You get mad quickly. I know. I know. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Not only Arab people, but uh, let's say like idiots. Yeah, there are idiots everywhere. There are some. Yeah.
It's not
So
always about that. They're
yeah,
intelligent people. He can
of course,
easily make me angry. So it's not
of
about
course.
being
Yeah.
stupid or
So
intelligent.
just to agree that science never um makes you an atheist. Yeah.
Science never makes me an
Science.
atheist.
No, science is not making you an atheist. Science never makes nobody an atheist. Yeah. Science is only there by made by human studies to prove things, right?
Explain things.
To explain things, yes, for
Yeah.
human brains, so we know how it functions. Yeah, according to science. But science never pushes you to be an atheist or
Okay. So what's your point?
agnostic. No, just to make it clear to the audience here. Yeah,
Yeah. No, like, I'm
because
not the one who's talking about science, by the way. Like
yes,
she
no,
started
I'm
talking
talking.
about science. You're talking about science sometimes. I don't need to
Yes,
talk about science even. I don't need that. Big Bang can be false. I don't give a shit. Or let's say evolution is false. That doesn't mean God exists. You see,
mm-hmm.
it's easily to not argue about science for me. Very easy. Logically, if evolution is false, that doesn't mean God exists. Simple fact.
Yeah.
Hey, Senator, you're asking the mic. Where are you?
All right, I will.
Yeah, I was asking. Yes.
You
I'll
were
write
asking.
something. I'll write something on the chat, and if you guys agrees, please press like.
Just like, okay. Anyway, what's going on here, Carlos? Let's see if there's a trick or not. What's a blank page? It's shining
No,
a
it's
lot.
not a blank. It was drawing me.
He was. Oh, okay.
Nice draw, huh?
Big Bang Theory happened. I don't care. That's not our topic. My Poe and what I believe in. Sorry, man. If you're just gonna preach your
Mhm.
beliefs, your religion, that's not okay. You should know that. But if you want to have
Wait,
a conversation or a
who's
discussion,
preaching? Who's preaching here?
no one yet.
Huh?
But if it happens, that won't happen
Yeah,
for
you
long.
think I'm preaching?
No,
I'm
not you.
asking. Yeah.
Andre, I was talking to the other guy, not you.
Okay, okay.
Why not okay?
Oh,
I don't like it, that's why.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's the
It's
best
not.
thing about. Wait a
Okay,
second. Yes, Iman,
okay,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Hello, good
yes,
evening.
okay, thank you. Um, I think your friend, um, he was just mentioning
Yeah.
that I can't be explaining my POV about this topic,
What's
right?
your what is POV? Point of view?
Point of view,
No,
yeah.
point of
Yes.
view.
Oh, okay. Explain what
She
exactly,
Okay.
but
she speaks super advanced English, yeah.
yeah, super advanced. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
thanks for this
Yeah,
compliment.
but you should be clear. You want to explain what exactly?
Okay, so you were talking about God and science, and I bet, how this universe works and the religion, right?
Yeah, science explains that. Tries to explain that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh, so you were saying, okay, let me just catch up about what you were explaining. Okay, would you please come again and repeat just what you said?
Oh, we said a lot of things.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
sir,
Please go.
philosopher, can I add something very quickly?
Yeah, let's see. Like
Sure,
while
I'm sure.
she's
Mhm,
thinking
I'm
about.
sure that you. Yeah, I'm sure that you have many more other reasons, but one of the reasons that you don't believe in God is the unseen nature of God. Is that true? You cannot see God. That is one of the reasons.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons, but that's not the only reason, man.
Mm,
Because just
yeah,
because you don't see something, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Logically,
yeah,
right?
Yes,
exactly.
that's the point.
Or
That's what
Yeah,
I was trying to
yeah,
yeah,
say.
yeah. But there is a better
or
point, Iman. You should know that. Just because you don't see
Okay.
something, that doesn't mean it exists also, right? There are many things that we don't see, and you don't believe in them, right? For example, do you believe in unicorns?
No,
You
I
don't see
don't
them,
because
right? You don't
I.
see them, right? But if someone says,
Okay.
"Hey, wait a second," just because you don't see them, that doesn't mean they don't exist. Okay, yeah, but you don't believe in
Yes.
them because you don't see them, and
Okay.
you don't have
Believe me
evidence
that
for them.
I
But
have evidence for this.
You have evidence for God.
Yes,
Okay, let's
and
share
maybe
the evidence.
for unicorns too.
So
for
unicorns
you,
are not the main topic here. Like it's enough if you gave evidence for God.
Okay.
Welcome back,
Let
Edward.
me just explain what I do believe in. Okay. I do believe that God, okay, that God, he uh, uh, created us as humans.
That smile
What's
was for
that smiley
dragons.
face?
She
Okay.
said with the dragons too.
Dragons.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But anyway, so you
Okay.
believe that
I'm
God
sorry, but
created humans?
yeah, and of course for reasons you had. Okay, I don't get
Don't
your
focus on the chat box. Come on. You said you have
Yeah,
evidence
yeah,
for
yeah.
God. Go with the
Yes,
evidence.
I do have evidence. Okay, so this is what I believe in. Yes, God created us to live here and to experience life on Earth.
But you're still claiming
And
that God exists
I
and God created things. So this is not evidence.
let
This
me
is the continuation
give
of
you
your
proofs.
beliefs.
Let
But you're
me
not
give you
giving
proofs.
needs. I'm waiting for the proof, not for your other beliefs. So you believe God exists and you believe
No,
God do
okay,
something, do something. Yeah, this is all about beliefs. Okay. What's
dude,
the evidence?
wait and please do not interrupt me.
I will
Could
interrupt
you?
you every time
yes,
you keep
let her
mentioning
finish.
about
Philosopher,
no, 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 I'm not
philosopher.
gonna
Okay,
finish. If
okay.
she
Her.
keeps
Sorry, I can't talk with you here, and that
okay,
sounds like
so you
not
don't
Yeah.
have
sweet.
to, you don't have to
Okay, okay.
talk to
All right.
me,
So hear me
okay?
out, guys. Yes, philosopher, keep in mind that every time I join you, I have a lot of friends who joins me in your room, right?
Okay,
And
and
the best that's probably the best thing about free for thought. Like you can always create your own room and you have your own rules,
yes,
right? Yes. So I appreciate it and I wish you good luck
thank
finding
you.
God and see you next time.
Take
Ciao
care, bye
ciao for
bye. Ciao,
your
ciao. Thanks for
YouTube
joining.
views. Yeah. Tabula rasa, you're doing good job. Keep it up.
Okay,
All right, take care. I'm gonna create a new room, guys.
bye bye.
Ciao ciao.
Okay, you want to steal the audience? Okay, wow. um, that's the problem. So if you have evidence for your belief, just when you say I'm gonna give you the evidence, but if you don't start giving the evidence, if you keep saying, "Oh, this is what I believe," also, "Oh, this is what I believe," also, wait a second, this is also what I believe. Okay, that doesn't
Uh,
sound cool. Okay, you
uh,
sound someone who never understand anything. Also, you see, I can claim a lot of things about you. And by the way, yeah, I don't read books, and it's not about reading
mm,
books. Okay, it's about
mm.
trying to understand people, trying to listen people, and trying to not waste my time. Also, I don't want to waste my time with you. That's why I muted you. You said I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
evidence, and you started giving me your beliefs. This is what I
So,
believe. This is what I believe.
sir, I think that in today's world, it is almost impossible to convince someone of God's existence, because even if you show them some kind of video where a miracle
False,
happens, like
false.
some kind of magic,
False,
they're gonna
Senator,
they're gonna
false.
tell you that it
False,
is AI
Senator,
generated
false.
video.
False, Senator, false. Senator, false. False, Senator, false. There are
What
many,
is exactly false?
what you claimed is false. There are many people who become believer. Many people. And I've seen atheist people becoming believers. Why? Because someone shows something, some evidence, and they think that it's convincing for them, and they become believer. They
No,
become Muslim. They
no,
become Christian for many
mhm.
reasons. So that's a
Yeah. Okay.
fact.
I refer to a footage, like video, some kind of
Just
video.
a video, but maybe there are people who are okay with a video, but yeah, that's less likely. But anyway, so what's your point?
No, I'm telling that they would claim that the video is AI generated.
Sure, they can claim easily, yeah. So
So I'm telling you that it is almost impossible to change someone's mind about God
yeah, but
if they.
if they use only internet, right? Or if they use only YouTube footages. But that's not the way that we communicate only, right? We don't show YouTube videos each other to communicate, right?
Hmm.
We talk, we speak, we can show other things, even in real, right? We can
Yeah.
send, messages, arguments, whatever. There are many things to convince other people, not only YouTube videos.
Okay, I just wanna really. I'm wondering, under which conditions have to be satisfied for you to convince you of the existence of God? Okay,
Oh,
what is your
we just did it.
standards?
We just did it. Like there was a guy who said God is listening to prayers, and I said, okay, I want to pray to God. I said, hey, God, can you fill my cup right now? I'm drinking something. Can you please fill it? And I said, okay, maybe you don't want to do that. What if you type on my screens that I listen to you? I waited for that, but I didn't get any answer. I just repeated it again. If God changes his mind, that would be good evidence for me right now.
So if God does what? Sorry.
Does do what I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. If God does what you want, I
Yeah.
understand.
And it's a simple thing, right? I want him to type, I listen to you right now.
Mm.
No, no, don't do that, Julie. No, no, don't. I mean, if you can take it back, it's okay, but no, that's not what I want. But if if that's the only way that he's gonna do that, okay, I'm okay. Senator.
Um, well, actually, I see many problems with your, with because
Tell me the you know the
no,
one which you think is the biggest problem. Show me. Explain to
well,
me. What is the biggest problem in my reasoning?
mhm. Well, you suppose that God, for just to satisfy you, to make you believe,
I
God
don't
has to
suppose
do what
that.
you want.
I don't suppose that. You ask me what is a good evidence for you, and I just presented a case.
Hmm.
I don't go around and I say, "Hey God, show me that, so that I can believe in you." No, I don't do that. Okay, that's not what I want. But you ask me a question, what could be convincing for me, and I am answering that. If God is not able to do that, if God doesn't want to do that, if there's no God, there's nothing to do. I can't do anything for it. But if somehow
Yeah.
there's a God, if God says, okay, let me give some evidence to this motherfucker,
Hmm.
okay, then that would be good evidence for me. That's the case, okay? I'm not forcing God to show me evidence. You are the one who's asking evidence from me, right? How I could believe. That's what you want, not me. So this is the only problem for in your case that I ask things from God. I didn't come here and I said, "Hey, God, do this for me, do this for me." You are the one who is saying what is good evidence for him. So this evidence is a miracle, right? It's defined as miracle in religions, and it's possible according to believers, and it's a really good evidence for believers, right? That's how people try to prove their gods, right? It's not coming from me. It's not me saying that it's a good evidence, even. Like many people, many believers think that it's a good evidence. And I agree. Like for me, it's also good evidence. And why the hell I become arrogant when I ask such kind of evidence? Again, I don't desire that. That's not my desire. But just I'm explaining to you that what can convince me.
A philosopher.
Hey man,
Have you ever believed in God before?
sure, I was a Muslim before.
Oh, you're Muslim. Mm.
Yeah.
And what was the breaking point?
There was not a specific breaking point, but I started learning about, you know, logical mistakes, and I started seeing how people defend their beliefs and how atheist people are reacting those kind of claims. And I was like, wait a second, I see that my arguments are so weak. I don't have good evidence. I realized that, and that realization just made me an atheist.
But you were a Muslim for how long?
For quite a long time.
Were you raised in the Muslim home?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you still live in a country that's Muslim?
That's not
Majority?
relevant, man.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Okay, I'm not answering this one.
Okay, no worries.
That's all. Are you a believer?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. How long?
It's hard to tell. I don't know, because there was no breaking point exactly. I stopping believing some stuff, and then the other stuff, and then the other stuff, until I don't believe in God anymore.
Okay, so you're atheist technically.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't too much things to talk with atheists together. It's always more fun when there are believers and non-believers together.
So you like the argument, I guess.
Sure, I like discussing.
Discussing, yes.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
I feel like you don't have how can I say that? You don't like to listen to some kind of arguments, I'll say, or beliefs at least that people
Like
are
what, for
using as
example?
argument. He had a room full of people here, and then
Yeah, full of people who are not listening even. I was just repeating my question. They were not listening. Even the one who interrupted me to say something, he was not even listening. The other person, the other believer, he was a believer. No one was listening to each other. I was the only one who was listening. And I was trying to answer. Sometimes I was answering 3 times in a row. Still, they were not getting. Either it's because of their English or because they were not listening or they don't care what I'm saying. So yeah, that happens, but mostly I can say that it's not because of me. I really
so
listen them carefully, even their mistakes. I repeat them.
I see.
Yeah, for example, her, she claimed that we can reach the spiritual realm when we die, and then later on she claimed that we can do that even, you know, before we die. She said, "Oh, you can sit, you can think about yourself, you can think about your existence, and blah, 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 blah." And I listened to all those things, what she said. But before that, I asked her at least 5 times, "What's your evidence for the spiritual realm?" She even didn't understand what I said. And the other guy was not listening also in the conversation. She was just interrupting. And then she started saying, "Oh, you know, you should sit, you should kind of like meditate and blah blah." And again, that was very useless, but still I was listening. That was painful.
Yeah, but then there's a side of me that's curious to try to understand why people reason the way they do reason, why they believed the way they believe, So I
Uh,
was curious to what was she was about to say.
Yeah, if they just answer the question, yeah, then it's kind of enjoyable. But when they don't even listen to the question, it's not fun anymore. I wish there were people who were just listening and understanding. And then the other girl, she got offended a lot, and she started even attacking. She said, "I want to share my POV, right?" And I was like, and I was like, in the first place, I was hesitant because she sounded like a preacher. She said, "I want to share my beliefs," and mostly it happens like a preach for me. That's my experience, and sure, I could be wrong. And then when she started saying, "Oh, no, no, I will explain my point of view about this topic," and then I said, "Okay." And then she said, I can give you evidence." I was really surprised, and I was okay. Let's see the evidence. And she started like, I believe this. I believe this. I believe this. I believe this. And she kept speaking about her beliefs, and I just interrupted her because she was not sharing any evidence. She was sharing more beliefs because every each of that belief, I could ask the same question. Wait a second, what's the evidence for this belief? Or what's the evidence for that one? What's the evidence for that one? And that's not fruitful. First, you have a claim that you can give evidence for God, then you should start without your beliefs. But she was not doing that, and I just interrupted to get the evidence from her, not more beliefs. To ask later on, hey, wait, what's the evidence for that belief? Because those beliefs all require evidence for me to also accept.
But maybe everything she has are her beliefs, isn't it? Maybe she doesn't have an argument or reasoning.
Then why should I listen to her? I ask for evidence. I'm curious for the evidence. I'm not curious about what she believes.
Eh, Yeah, but maybe listen to her
I
and
did.
try to not completely.
But she claimed
Then,
that she had evidence. Yeah, Julie. Yeah.
yeah, but maybe she's not even sure that the evidence is or not.
That's not my problem again. Man, I'm here to like conversate. to understand and to understand each other. But
Mm.
if someone says, "Oh, I have this," and they don't share it, they keep other claims. That's not fruitful for me.
I don't know. From my part, I think it's easier to argue with a person if you share some common ground, and try to understand their point of view first, and then start working from that point of view.
Um, that's my problem. I cannot start with bunch of beliefs. That's not a ground. Like it's like clouds for me. Like every belief is like a cloud for me. I can't base on the clouds. So we should ground, literally ground on the earth. Then we can, and we don't have to, and it's easy. If you just give what you claimed, then it's easy. So I like sometimes, for example, there was a guy today. He joined later on again, and then like he was here for many hours. Okay, when first he joined, I even didn't know that he was a Muslim. And we could have the conversation for a long time. We were discussing about God. And then the second time he joined, I was even surprised. I was like, wait a second, you're a Muslim. Why you didn't say that in the first place? That could be easier. That was not a big problem for me. As I said, we could have the discussion, even if I don't know, like in general, what he thinks specifically. I didn't know. I didn't have to know that. Sure, it could save time. That's what I said to him. I was like, if I knew that you're a Muslim, that would be so easy. But still, it was okay. No one has to share those things. If you claim you believe a God exists, they can just start giving the evidence. If you don't think that your God is your mobile phone, because in that time that would be so confusing till I figure out that you believe that your phone is your mobile. I mean, your phone is your God. That's confusing.
But then, when you're having this kind of discussions, what you're looking for? What's
Uh,
your point?
I look for evidence if they claim things. And
For the
the
sake of
evidence,
discussion?
not only for the discussion, sure, like it would be so different for me to believe a God exists again. If there's clear evidence for a God, that would be even surprising for me.
Mhm.
But sure, it depends on what kind of God that I believe in, because there's a chance that I believe that there's a terrible God. That would
Mhm.
be very stressful for me.
That's a possibility, isn't it?
It is. If there is a God, we don't know what kind of a God exists, right?
Mhm.
By just observing what's going on right now on this planet and in the universe, the God seems so careless about what is going on here, and that's a little bit disappointing for me and scary, even if there's such a God who's so careless about all those things.
I guess I would accept the creator if the reality that you live in is illusion, like the matrix situation, that anything's not really real. Then maybe I guess I could accept that.
Yeah.
But then, based that the reality is reality, then I cannot accept a God that, at least not a God that's described in the holy books. Doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, you don't accept because it doesn't make sense. Okay. Hey, what's the time? Okay.
I need to excuse myself for a second. Need to order food.
Take your time. Oh,
Okay.
Edward. Hey, Edward. I'm curious, are you still Englishing? You may forget speaking in English. Okay, you don't want to go live. I see that. I understand. Yeah, that's why I was like, what if you forgot? Before, okay. No pressure, no pressure. Should I recreate for the last time? Let's try this topic. If it will work or not. May the God bless the new one. Okay. Well, let's see if I can create. Oh, yeah, I can. We'll be there, Carlos, if you're there in the new room. Oops, I don't have the link. Oh, it was so out of time when I was sending that smiley. Seemingly, she had a problem with speaking, and she might have thought that I was smiling at her speech. Remember the girl? She got angry and then she left. Yeah, I was smiling at what you said about dragons. Yeah, read books, girl. Okay, that deserves another smiley. Really? It started? I didn't know that. Okay. Not like maybe I'll wait for it to, accumulate some episodes. There is one TV show we were watching.
Hello guys, nice to meet you. Sorry for interruption. I got an inquisitor with the title you have written on your group, right? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, title is more important than what I was saying about
Hello
the TV
people,
shows.
nice to meet you again. The gymnastic atheist, right? So here's my first question, man. You don't believe in God?
Wait a second. I didn't get answer for my first question.
Sorry, I got that. Yes. What was your question again? Sorry.
My first question was, do you believe in God?
Yeah, totally. I believe in him, man.
Okay, so what was your first question again?
Yeah. Do you believe in God or not?
No, I don't.
Guys, I have noticed atheism. Yes.
Sorry, come again?
Yo, the topic here is atheism. Atheism means someone who doesn't believe in God. Yes.
Yeah. and I am someone
Okay,
who
yo,
doesn't
okay.
believe that
So,
God exists.
all right, look, I won't now, debate it, but why do you believe in God? Tell me your findings, your results, your
Why?
purpose for this. Yeah, right.
Why? Why?
All ear.
Why I don't believe a God exists?
Yes.
Simple, because I don't see good evidence for the existence of God, for the existence of any God. That's why I don't believe.
Uh, right, but sorry to tell you this, that's not a solid purpose.
Purpose is not a purpose, it's a reason why I don't believe a God
Okay,
exists.
that's not a solid reason. Like, right?
Okay,
Who
so what?
who created you? Who
My
created
father
everything,
and my
man?
mother, who created your
No,
God?
man, it's not your father, man. No, no, no.
Who
You
created
were
your
sperm.
God? Who created your
You were
father?
sperm. Yes,
Man,
you were
forget about
sperm.
sperm.
Then you
Who?
got into a womb. Then you got
Hello, guys.
created
That's so
to.
boring. That's so fucking boring, man. Hear me out, man. Who created your God?
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey, man. Oh, you're chilling. That's good.
Oh, wait, wait,
Hello.
yeah. So,
Okay,
oh,
what do you do in this room?
you muted me up, man.
Yeah, I
So look,
muted you so that you can listen my question. Who created the creator of this universe?
all right, man. The whole universe was created from nothing by God, right?
Nothing.
Because everything has to be to the same result, which is
Did
one.
you
Yes,
hear my question?
yes.
What was my
No one
question?
created my God, man. My God
No
is
problem,
one
guys.
and
Now,
only.
that's the
Hello, guys.
answer.
Can you help me?
If you say
I'm a
no
friend.
one, if you say no one created your God, I will say no one
Yes.
created this universe. I will say that.
Why?
Because you say something exists with no creator. If you are free to do that, I am free to do the same. I say the universe doesn't have a creator, period. Do you have proof
Okay,
that the
so
creator of the universe doesn't have a
who,
creator? Do you have proof for that?
how the universe got created?
How
Thank
God
you.
was created?
How God was okay? That's a useless question, man.
Oh, you
Like,
see?
who created God? So how he is a God if he was created?
Okay, so just because you define that God is uncreated being,
I'm not
that doesn't
defining,
mean
man. I'm
you're
not
defining.
defining.
You're
I'm
defining.
getting to the same conclusion
Your
you're
conclusion is
making. If
based
the
on
God,
your definition. You define God as an
no, man,
uncreated
no,
being.
no, no, no.
No? What's your
It's not a
definition
man
of God?
definition. It's mention of God, right? God's the creator of everything, the one who has almighty,
Yeah,
mighty,
the creator of everything is a
strength, the one who
definition.
can do whatever.
That's your definition, man. You
Just
believe
telling you, man.
you
Okay,
define
okay, listen
someone
up, man.
who created
First of
everything.
all,
First of all,
my God is not named God. My God is named Allah, right?
okay, and
I'm a Muslim, right?
my
Yeah,
universe is
yeah, right,
called
yeah.
universe, and universe doesn't have a creator. This is my belief.
Okay, man. Look. I'm not against your belief. I'm not here to debate you. I'm not here to blame you. I'm just inquisitive, right? On your belief is based on what, right? Okay. So you said who created the God? So
No, that
if a
was
God is
the
created,
clear
how he is a
question.
God?
The clear question was who created the creator of this universe? That was the question.
Come on, man. All right. If he was created, how he is a God? Oh
I
man,
didn't say like
how he
no.
has
You are the one who
all
believes that.
all supreme powers?
You are the one who believes that there is such a thing. I'm not the one. Okay, so it's your problem. You should solve it. Okay, but I can help you.
Okay, man, you can.
Your
Can
problem
you
comes from
can you
your
help me to
definition.
solve it, man? Can you help
If
me
you
to
don't
solve it?
interrupt me, I will help. I was trying.
Okay, yes, okay. I'm
Okay.
all ear. Yeah, go.
Your problem comes from your definition because you define that there is something which is uncreated and which is the creator of everything. This is how you define your God. But the problem is just because you have a definition, that doesn't mean there is such a thing. The same as I can define Santa Claus right now, but that doesn't mean Santa Claus is real. The same might go for your God. Just because you define God in a way that you want, you desire, or the religions claim, that doesn't mean that's real. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's a creator of this universe, or maybe there are many creators of this universe. I don't know the answer. Or you believe that someone can exist, something can exist with no cause, that this is you who believe in such a thing, not me. If you can believe that one thing can exist with no creator, then you should accept that maybe this universe doesn't have a creator, because you are closer to believe that universe doesn't have a cause than me. You are the one who believes that something can exist with no cause, not me. But when it comes to universe, you're saying, oh, wait a second. No, universe definitely has a creator. Why? Because you believe so, because someone says so, right? Because there's a religion who claims that. The religion claims that there is a creator of this universe. That's why you believe.
Right. Are you done?
Yeah? You think
All
that
right.
I'm going to talk till morning?
I didn't say this, man. Right.
Yeah,
And
you didn't. Yeah.
okay. Right. First of all, I feel that you're offended with something,
Nope,
right? By
definitely
my
not.
speech and what? Okay. That's first, right? Okay. Secondly, right? I didn't mean, right, to convince you with my belief, right?
What's your purpose then?
Um, I was just, negotiating with you, right? What's going on there? Why do you believe in God, right? So I'm not against your belief, and I'm not here to convince you with my belief either, right? Um, you're claiming that universe was created from nothing and
No, I
from
have
none.
never
Yes,
claimed
right,
that. No, I have never
right.
claimed such
So
a thing. Hey, man, listen,
you're
listen.
not claiming, man, right?
I
You
have never
just
claimed
said
such a
it.
thing.
You're not claiming. You just said it. Okay,
No, I
right.
have never
Okay.
said
So
that. I have never said that. I have never said that universe
all right.
has been
Okay.
created
So
from
okay.
nothing. I
As
have never said that.
I didn't interrupt you, man. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Let me
because I
finish.
was saying
Right? I
something.
didn't interrupt you.
I
Yes.
was not saying anything wrong.
Yo.
You didn't
Okay.
need to interrupt
When I
me.
finish,
But now you're saying
when I
something
finish, you
wrong.
can't comment. Come on, man.
Nope,
When you
nope.
finish, you
I'll
can comment.
interrupt you every
Right?
time you say something wrong, especially your assumptions about me or what I said earlier. I will interrupt you, definitely.
You know, man. I really like to be in such conversations. Anyways,
You
all
don't
right.
like to
Okay.
be.
Look. Nah, I like, man.
Oh, you
Like a
like.
lot to be in such
Cool,
conversations. Yeah. Right.
cool. If
Yeah.
you like,
So
cool.
I'm up to this. If you're up to the morning, to the next night, I won't give no, okay? Like it's for your information. Okay. Um for my belief, right, that universe was created by a creator. It didn't started all of it from none. Okay. Scientifically proved. I know that you're into science, so you can read this.
You don't know
Right.
that. I didn't say anything about science also.
What's going on, man?
Why you keep assuming false things about
Yo,
me?
false. Okay.
Why you keep
Okay.
doing
So,
that?
how can you prove something? What do you believe in? If you don't believe in science either, so what do you believe in?
You
So,
don't
like,
need
uh,
to.
all of this is an illusion. You and I are illusion. Like, are we illusionists here? We're
What?
doing nothing. We're just faking things. If you don't believe in God, you don't believe in science either. What do you believe in? If you want to prove something, like we want to prove that you were born from a womb, how can we prove it?
Oh, I can show every human being coming from a womb. That would be great
Yeah.
evidence to think that you're also coming
Okay.
from a womb.
How that was proved? It was proved with science.
Nice. You call it science. I just call
Science,
it a
yes.
pure observation.
Come on, man. Yo, cut this shit off, man.
Yeah, you escape with that. You don't like the answer. We don't have to go with science. And no, those people mostly start using the word science because they want to label atheist people as worshippers of science. But when we don't talk about science, it's really annoying for them. I'm not the one who started talking about Big Bang today. I was not the one who started talking about evolution today. They all did. the believers.
Hi, Mr. the Agnostic Atheist.
Hey, Pegasus.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
If you know
Finally,
me, that makes sense. But if you didn't know me, you should wait for the end of the conversation.
now, the thing is that I'm someone like you, an agnostic atheist.
Oh, okay. That's why it was nice. Okay. But still, I can be an asshole that you may dislike. But anyway.
Anyway, I think you had a harsh conversation with that Muhammad, because I know a lot of Muhammads create troubles when they talk about atheism.
I know with Muhammad, I had always really good conversations.
Okay.
Okay.
When I was in my 20s, I was a fan of Richard Dawkins. I read his book, The God Delusion, and also I watched some of his documentaries like The Root of All Evil. I don't know if you got that already. And also, I enjoyed reading the book of Sam Harris, The End of Faith. And also, I read the books of Yuval Harari, Homo Sapiens, a brief story of humankind, and also Homo Deus.
Okay.
But anyway, for the question of the Big Bang Theory, I feel like agnostic about it, because it's really hard to understand what's behind the universe. So I find myself agnostic about that. But when it comes to the evolution, the Darwinian evolution, thanks to our eyes and the observation, what we observe, we can reason and get rational conclusions that we are all animals. The difference between the Homo sapiens, the human race, and all other living beings is our evolution of our brain. That's it.
Okay, that's what you think. Even by just observing. Okay.
Observation, when I say we observe, I don't mean just by myself, but by also the scientific observation.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Well, by the way, like the Big Bang Theory kind of starting being really speculative nowadays, if you guys heard about it. And I'm so happy about that. Because I want to see the reaction of the Muslims who use Big Bang Theory as an evidence for their God, for their religion. That's why I am so curious to see what they say about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, but it won't save them, Julie. It's so obvious that
I think they don't
it
believe in
was
it.
always a problem of interpretation. So you see, I was asking this question all the time to them. What if we find out that one of those things don't make sense anymore? Because science is so honest. Like it can correct the mistakes when there's good evidence. Science is not dogmatic. What will happen? Right? That means that religion is false. But let's see how they react. I want to see their answers.
Any Muslim here to answer this question?
I think no. Unfortunately, no.
We have a lot of people here, but nobody speaks. Me, I gave my introduction.
I'm sure at least 4 of them are not Muslim.
What so you think about the new proposed hypothesis? Which one?
What so you think? What do you think about the new proposed hypothesis? I didn't search and listen deeply, so I don't know. I'm curious.
How many gods we have all over the centuries in
Thousands, I think.
since they started recording? I think 7,600 or 59 gods. I think maybe,
Quite a
but this
lot.
is not the right. But this is not the right number. But 7,000 gods, deities existed through the history of mankind. What makes the God of Jews or Christians or Muslims specific, truthful than all those gods? We have also the problem of evil. As long as God exists, why He left His human creation suffer, human suffering? What is the evil that surround us in this world? Why He doesn't give a care about it? So if He doesn't care about it, as long as He is omnipotent and benevolent and also omnipresent, so he is evil. So I don't need to trust him and I don't need to believe in him.
Fair questions and fair accusations. What can I say? Horatio, you took a nap?
Yep,
Okay.
ready to kick some ass.
I won't be here that long, but this is not, the golden time to catch believers,
Catch believers.
Yeah. It's more fun with them. I love them and like them. Sorry, no offense. I like my atheist fellows also. It's
Thank
more
you.
fun.
Cheers. Yeah, of course, it's more fun. But not always, because there are some people here. They make you get pissed off from their stupidity of thinking, irrational thinking. Then some people are really schizophrenic. They believe really in angels and devils. They saw Jesus Christ flying.
Okay.
I don't know if someone of you has already met one YouTube channel. It's called Dark Matter 2525.
I didn't.
No, yes, that channel. I remember when I was teenager. Years ago. I think more than 10 years ago. I followed that person. He used to talk about this. It was like some videos of about atheism, but he was explaining this question, philosophical questions about God, accusing God and attacking God, the logic behind. Wait a second.
Just searching it now.
Yep, I will share it if I find it, because it's been a lot of time. I didn't.
I put it in just the way you said, Dark Matter 2025, and it comes up.
I guess 25. I don't remember which one. I will look for it. Yep. This one. Yeah. animations with animation videos. I will share one of them. It's funny and it makes you think critically about certain logic reason. I shared the video, you can watch.
Hey, God, we got a problem.
Oh? I'm very interested to know what the problem is so that I, as the omnipotent, supremely benevolent creator of the universe, can employ my considerable power and wisdom to resolve it.
Oh? Well, okay, come on down. You see, your chosen people, the Israelites, are having difficulty in the wilderness. They're very dehydrated. They yearn for water, and frankly, they miss food with actual taste.
I see. I see. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Jeffrey.
So you're gonna help?
Okay, that was unexpected.
Hello, and welcome to Balaam's Mystic Emporium and Fruit Stand. Can I take your order, please?
Oh, great Balaam! King Balak would like thou to have this bag of money.
Really? What's the catch?
There is no catch, no quid pro quo.
Sweet.
King Balak would like thou to do him a favor, though.
Oh?
Yes, he would like thou to come back with us and put a curse on the Israelites who have appeared at our border. because King Balak knows thou hath God's favor, and whatever thou curse is cursed, and whatever thou bless is blessed.
The Israelites? Ah, that is a bit of a special order. Stay right here while I go and talk to God. I'll be right back. God?
Sup?
Hey, God. I've got a favor to ask thee.
Oh? Say, by the way, who are those men with you?
You're again.
Alrighty then.
You had the mic for a long time.
I didn't choose I didn't choose the best video.
Oh, yeah.
Because this one is long and doesn't really have much arguments. But there are some you can enjoy anyway to see the videos. There are many videos in that channel about atheism that makes you think really about the idiocracy behind the religious stories, fairy tales. Ten years ago, I used to enjoy watching this.
Hey, philosopher, you want to discuss about God?
Yeah, that's the first topic there. If you want, why not?
Yeah.
So you should know
my
that
argument is,
I don't have much time. Maybe I'll just stay for 15 minutes maximum. So
yeah, me too. I don't have enough
oh,
time.
that's good.
So
We
let's
talked before, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, it's more than a guess
Yeah.
for me, but
My
anyway.
okay. My argument is everything we see is contingent. It depends on something else. But this depends on something else. But this chain cannot go forever. There must be something that exists necessarily by its own nature. And this being timeless and caused and changed is what we mean by God.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree the part that how you define the first cause. And I don't have a problem with the first cause, by the way. Maybe we don't have eternal chain of causation. And maybe there's a starting point, but that doesn't mean there was only one thing at the starting point. Maybe there were many things at the beginning. Maybe that's how everything started. Let's suppose there are 100 things at the beginning which are uncaused. They don't have any cause. And they're not contingent also because they necessarily exist. Uncaused, right? That's how you define necessary existence. They necessarily exist.
Not always.
So how can you defeat such kind of a belief?
Yes, say it again.
I said, yes, okay. Maybe it makes sense that there must be a starting point. My question is, what if there are
Okay.
100 things at the beginning, not only one? Because just because there must be a starting point, it doesn't have to be one thing that you start. You can start things with multiple things also, right? Imagine a game. A game can start with multiple things, not only one thing. It could, by the way, but it doesn't mean it's only one. So even if it's true that there is no infinite regress, there's always a cause. Let's suppose this is false. That doesn't mean there was only one thing at the beginning. You can't derive such a rule from that reasoning. That you need to give some other evidence to prove that it has to be one. I agree. Let's say that there's only one. I mean, there is a starting point. I agree. No problem. But how can you prove that it was only one thing at the beginning?
Perfect. That's a good question. First, You made a confusion. Argument from contingency doesn't have anything to do with causality. The second thing, for example, let's take this 100 different necessary being at the first point. Difference mean there is requires like composition, because if we said A is not B, there must be different features. But anything made of parts is contingent. Do you agree with me on that?
No, no one said that those are made of parts. No one said that.
But if you think about it, if there is a difference, mean there is a kind of a part.
No, it doesn't mean they could be different and they may not have parts. You think that if something doesn't have a part, that means it's the same with the other thing which doesn't have a part? No.
Okay, so let me say this like phrase and tell me if you agree with me or not. If they are truly different, then one has something the other doesn't.
So what? So what?
Okay.
It might have.
That means each lacks something, which
So what?
makes them dependent or limited.
Okay, no, it doesn't make them
If one of
dependent. They necessarily exist. They don't depend on anything. They like this is the definition of necessary existence, right? They exist without depending on anything, and that's how they exist.
that is not the definition.
Oh, what's the definition of necessary existence?
These different attributes, it is not only independent, not only uncaused, not only eternal, there's different. But my point is, if they are different, that's mean some of them have something the other doesn't.
No problem.
Some
And there's
of
no
them,
such a rule that
let me
they
finish.
cannot be
Let
like
me
that.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh, go.
If some of them do you agree with me? If they're kind of difference, true difference, that mean one of them lacks something a second one have.
Oh my fucking god, man! Are you able to listen and understand?
You agree or not? You can make it
I
simple.
said yes, and there's no problem. I don't see any
Okay,
problem. I said it
so
earlier, right?
let me move to the next premise.
Why you didn't
But a
move to the next
necessary being,
premise in the first place?
bro, you can listen
I
or you
listened
cannot.
and I said yes. I don't see a problem, and you didn't move.
Okay,
You
like keep
wanted to repeat
listening.
the same
But
thing.
let me finish. But a necessary being cannot lack anything.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Where this rule comes from? How can you create such a rule?
Okay, okay. Let's first let me mention the attributes of that necessary being and tell
Really?
me
Or
which
are
part
you
you don't
mentioning
agree
about
with
the
me.
attributes of your God? Which one? Be honest here. Are
No,
you
this,
will you try to
bro, like,
explain the properties of your God or a necessary existence?
okay, let me say it. If you disagree with me, tell me why, and I'm going to tell you why it is an attribute. If that's okay, if that's
You have to
logical,
prove me that there's such a thing. You can
bro,
prove me that, you don't even have to prove that. I said, okay, let's suppose that there is a necessary thing at the beginning. I already accepted that. But to be able to prove other properties of that necessary thing or the first things, you need evidence for that, okay?
okay. One of the attributes is it is simple, not made of parts. You agree with this or not?
I agree with that, no problem. I mean,
Perfect. So,
because it doesn't cause any problem. It doesn't have to be like that, by the way. Maybe like maybe those necessary things made of parts. Maybe I don't know that, but let's go for the sake of argument that they're not made of
no,
parts.
not at
No
all.
problem.
If it
Stop.
is made of
Stop. I
parts,
accept. I
it is
accept.
not necessary.
I fucking accept that for the sake of argument. They're not made of parts. Let's proceed. Okay. You want to move on or not?
Bro, it is not for
You
the
want to
sake of
move
argument.
on or not? Let's accept that they're not made of parts. I don't have any problem with that.
Okay, my next question. If there's a real difference mean lacking of something of having an advantage, there is a part thus lacking from some of them.
There
or
is a
there's a
part.
part added to one of them. Yeah.
Sure, that's possible because they're not made of multiple parts, and that's very possible that they're different and they don't have the parts that they, other have. That's very normal and it's understandable. It makes sense because they're not made of parts.
Perfect.
One, if they're
Perfect.
different, that there can be
Mhm.
the case that they don't share the same properties. That's very normal.
So you agreed or not? There's
I
some of them have
agreed.
parts, other doesn't.
Sure, because they're not made of parts. I explained why it makes sense even then. Well, you're not listening,
So
right?
some of them lack parts or not.
I just said yes. No, no, and by the way, I didn't say they lack of parts. Because they're not made of parts, you can't say that. They just don't have the same properties of the other things because they might be different. That's why.
Okay, that's okay. But let's agree for the sake of argument. Lacking of something doesn't necessarily mean lacking of a part. Let's say an attribute. Okay, that's perfect. But lacking itself make them dependent
No, it doesn't
or
make them
limited.
dependent.
For what?
They can be limited, no problem with that, but it doesn't make them dependent. Like depend on what? Like for what? They depend on other things for what? For example, to exist. Like only thing we argue here is about existing. Okay, since they necessarily exist, lacking some properties. Okay, or not having a property that the other
Okay.
things have is not a problem for the existence of that thing. They still exist. Doesn't matter if they don't have that property that the others have, still they exist because they necessary existence. They necessarily exist. That's why they exist. And I don't see any problem with that. And that doesn't make them dependent on other things. Or are you asking the question in which sense? They depend on other things for what, for example? Not
Okay.
to
So
exist. You
let
can't
me
say that not
let me
to exist. You can't say that because they already exist and they're necessarily exist. So they depend on other things for what?
okay. Let me explain the point. Lacking of something disqualify you from being necessary.
It doesn't. How?
Now let me explain it.
I will wait. Yeah.
You are limited, not complete being. You could have been otherwise. That's potentiality.
No problem with that. It doesn't mean that I do not necessarily exist. It doesn't mean that. I don't have a problem with that. Still, I can be the first cause.
Okay, so my definition from the necessary being must include no potentiality, because potentiality means a kind of cause or change.
Potential means a cause and change.
Yeah,
What does
if you
that
have a
mean?
potential, if you have a potential for something, that means you're going to move to increase or decrease, right?
Increase what and decrease what?
Like first, does the necessary being can have potentiality
For
from your
what?
point of view?
For what? It depends on their property, right? Like so far, the only like attribute that we accept is they are necessary existence, okay? And other properties of that thing is very speculative. It can be anything. It can be many things. I don't know. You don't know also. But we accept that
Yeah,
like there are such
that
things for the sake of argument. Like they necessarily exist, and unnecessarily existing is an enough property to claim that oh it's the first thing that exists and it doesn't have a cause. Why it doesn't have a cause? Because it necessarily exists. That's why. It's circular
okay.
reasoning,
So
but I accept
let
that
me.
for the sake of argument.
So do you agree first with me? Lacking of something means that something have a potentiality. First, let's agree with that. And after that, we're
Things
going
have
to discuss
potential.
if
I'm sorry, I
potentiality is
don't
equally to default.
understand. Well, I don't understand what you mean, so I can't answer your question. Can you elaborate it in a
Okay, I'm
different
going to
way?
explain.
I'm answering your question by this video. Please watch this
No,
video.
stop. No, no. We are not going
No,
to watch
no, no,
videos.
no.
Sorry.
No, we don't want your video. If you want to have something, you can say it. We don't want
Yeah.
your video.
Agreed.
So no potentiality, yeah, no potentiality. It cannot change, grow, or
Cannot
become
change.
something else.
No problem.
Yeah,
It
no
doesn't have to.
potentiality
It
means
doesn't have
that.
to. It doesn't have. There's no such a rule. There's no any rule that the first cause or causes must change. There's no such a rule, and that's why there's no
Okay,
problem with
so
it.
let me put the most important point, because if it could change, then something else must cause that change.
No, we said we
And
did.
that
No, we
means
wait.
it is not
Oh my
self-sufficient.
fucking god, man! We just agreed that they don't change, so you don't have to make arguments for other things that we didn't agree. Okay, so we didn't agree that they change, so you don't have to justify that part. Okay, so
Bro,
we agreed that
bro,
they don't change.
yeah, you're asking me why potentiality is going to exclude something from being necessary, right?
Didn't say anything like that. And I explained to you, I don't understand what you mean by potentiality and by your question, but
I mean
I
change.
disagree
I
with
mean
your
change.
stating.
Change.
They don't have to change, right? There's no such a rule. There's no such a rule. You understand that? If there's a first cause, you can't say that it must change. You can't say that. Let's accept that they're not changing. Is there any problem?
First, let me explain what I mean by potentiality, and we are going to go back.
Do you have
If
problem if I
lacking
claim
something
that?
means potentiality or not.
Okay, but like if I accept that they're not changing, is there any problem?
Yeah, that's the necessary being. It
Okay.
doesn't change.
You see, I
Yeah.
accept that they don't change. So let's proceed. Let's
Yeah,
move
I
on.
agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on. So
Okay,
I'm
let's
saying,
move on.
let me tell you my point.
Why then you're not
Yeah, we
moving?
agree
Why
with
you
that.
focus on other points?
Because first, when you said they are different, I said different means some of them like something another has,
and
and I said that.
and we proved that it's not a problem. That they can be different. That doesn't mean they're
Yeah.
changing. Just because two things are
Let me
different, that
finish.
doesn't mean they're changing. You understand that?
Let me finish.
No,
And I said,
I'm not letting the answer.
hey, philosopher,
Just
like this is
because
a
there are
discussion.
two
It's a
things.
dialogue.
This is the
a monologue.
discussion. No, this is a discussion. I ask you a question. Okay, it's not it's not only dialogue. Okay,
So
give me the
you only
answer.
want me to answer your questions
It's
without
important.
explaining my position.
It's important. Then you can explain. If there are two things and if they're different, does it mean they're changing?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
I
then
didn't say
you
that.
should
I
move
said,
on. Then you should move
Okay.
on because we said that the first causes
sake,
might
for
be
God's sake.
different, and if it's not necessary that they change, then there's no any problem. There might be the first causes and they're not
God's-
changing. That's period.
For God's sake, or for 100 necessary being sake, let me finish. Okay?
I hope you listen what I said. Because you keep saying, "Let me finish, let me finish." If you don't listen to anything, what's the point
Yeah,
finishing?
did you finish? Did you finish?
Your script.
Did you finish?
I finished. I was waiting for you, but at least it's important to know that whether you were listening or not.
Yeah, so let's first agree. They have differences.
We agreed.
You agree with that? Okay. Those
They're not
differences
changing.
means lacking of at least attribute. Let's forget
Sure.
about the part.
We agreed on that also.
Sure. Okay. So does that mean one of them, of those necessary beings, have the potentiality, can be changed in any way to be more perfect?
They're not changing, man.
Bro, I said, can there be a chance to be more perfect
I don't know.
if they are lacking something?
I don't
You
know.
said
It
by
doesn't have
your tongue.
Yeah, but it doesn't have
bro,
to.
is
Like they may not change. So let's accept that they're
I
not
didn't say they
changing.
have to.
Do you think that the first
I
cause is
didn't say they
changing?
have to.
Do you think that the first cause is changing?
Bro, Like,
Answer, answer,
don't change the topic.
answer. No,
Don't
I'm not
change the
changing.
topic.
I'm not fucking changing the topic. I'm on the topic. Do you think that the first cause is changing? No, right? You don't
No,
believe that
not
it's
at all.
changing. Yeah, yeah. And I say, okay, let's go for the sake of argument that those first causes are not changing because they don't have to change. There's no such a rule. Just because there are different first causes, that doesn't mean they're changing. Doesn't matter what properties they have. Like one have X property, the other one has Z property. One lacks the other property. Yes, we agreed on that, right? Many times we agreed on that point. But I ask you, is there any rule that suggests that just because they're different, that means they're changing? No, there is no such a rule. I don't see such a rule. Then
Let
I
me
go,
let me
I
tell you.
want to go with the claim that, okay, they're first causes, they're different, and they're not changing. Do you have a problem with that?
Let me tell you
Do you have a problem with that?
why.
Do you have a problem with that?
For like you are talking for 2 minutes and you say me you have
Simple,
problem with
very
that. Like,
simple.
put simple question. Put
Many,
a
many,
simple question.
many first causes, they're different and they're not changing. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Okay, what's the problem?
Because we agreed difference mean liking of something.
Yeah, we agreed.
Okay. And I said, if you let me finish my claim is if you like something, you have potential to fulfill that something. You have the potential.
Okay, that doesn't mean you
And
will
if you have
fulfill.
potential,
That doesn't mean you will
yeah, I'm not saying
fulfill.
you, yeah, I didn't say you have to fulfill it. I said
Okay.
you have the potential.
So,
You
okay,
have the
so
potential.
what?
And if you, yeah, let me finish.
So
If you
what?
have the potential, that's exclude you from being necessary.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. They already exist, man. They necessarily exist. It's just like those things are just different. That's all. It doesn't negate the
So
fact that they necessarily exist. It just says that, okay, they have the potential. So what?
So now the point of the disagreement is potential exclude you from being necessary?
It doesn't.
Yeah, I said this is the point of disagreement.
Yeah,
So we
this
can
is the.
pin this point. So now at least we have an agreement. Not at least we have point to talk about. Now I'm going to say this claim and tell me what do you think? Potential mean you can change.
Yeah, and that
And
doesn't
if
mean
you
you
can,
you change. Well, and that also means maybe you don't change. Maybe you cannot change. That means that also. Just because you're
yeah, I didn't
different
say it
and but
has
just
to
because you
change.
don't have the properties that the other things have, that doesn't mean you can change. For example, just because apple is not a peach, that doesn't mean apple can turn out to be a peach or any other fruit. You see the logic here? Simple. It doesn't have the apple doesn't have the
Again, what again?
potential. Do you think apple has the potential to become a pear or any fruit, strawberry, let's say? Do you think that the apple that I'm holding in my hand right now has the potential to become a strawberry? No, right? And they're different, right? So they're different, and that doesn't mean even they have the potential to become another thing or to have another property. It doesn't mean. But even if you claim that they have a potential, that doesn't mean they can be. And saying that, oh, something has a potential, blah, 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 that doesn't mean anything. It's just, you know, empty words for me.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Reading?
Are you there?
I said waiting, probably you didn't hear.
Yeah, you want to say something or you want like
He's
to answer my
waiting,
question?
Moby. He's waiting for you to speak.
Yeah, I said 2 times waiting.
Ah, yeah, my connection sometimes like disconnect. Okay, so my question is, we now the point of all of disagreement, potential or potential. My point is, everything has potential, could be added, could be added or could happen.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Having potential mean it is not fully complete.
It's
Do you
not
agree with
fully
that?
complete. Like I don't
Mhm.
understand what you mean by complete, but yes, they're different things, and I don't understand even what you want to say about complete. What does it mean complete?
Okay. Okay. I mean, you could add something or something could happen.
And they're not able to. Let's say they don't have. Let's suppose they don't have the potential. Any problem with that?
Yeah, now you are moving us back.
Yes, yeah, I want to do that because now you're making it with like even more trouble. So just because they're different, that doesn't mean they have the potential to become another or to have more
Okay.
properties. There's no such a rule.
Let's move back. Let's
Yeah,
move
we
back.
can move
If
back.
they if they are different, my claim, and let me. What do you think about my claim? If they are different, means A have something B doesn't have, and
That's true.
C have something A doesn't have.
That's true.
Hmm?
That's true.
Okay. And my second claim is if A have something B doesn't have, B have the potential
No,
to have
false.
that something.
False.
The potential,
No, false.
not it. Explain.
Yeah, I just explained with the example of the apple and strawberry. Just because apple and strawberry are different, that doesn't mean
Uh-huh.
apple has the potential to become or to have the properties of the strawberry. No, it means they exist the way that they are, the way that they do. That doesn't mean they like one have the potential to get more properties the other thing has. There's no such a rule. You can't create such a rule. Maybe those necessary things, they don't have any potential. Maybe they just exist like that with everything that they have, not more, no any potential.
Oh, like
Or
your
there can be
example
different kind of
for a
properties, by
necessary
the way.
being.
Maybe they're not changing, but maybe they can affect each other, or they can cause other things. Okay, maybe that's their potential. But that
Okay.
doesn't mean like one becomes the other, or one can have the property of the other thing.
Well,
Maybe when they're together,
necessary
maybe
being
they cause other things.
is uncaused.
We already agreed on that. Do you want to go even
Yeah.
back further? Yeah, they're
Yeah. You said
uncaused.
they. Yeah. You said they can affect each others, and
Yes. Yeah.
necessary being cannot be influenced by anything.
That doesn't mean they cannot influence each other. Just because they don't have a cause, that doesn't mean they cannot influence each other. Take care, Edward. Thanks for joining. Just because they don't have a cause, that doesn't mean they cannot influence each other. There's no such a rule, also. How can you derive such a rule? How can you create that rule?
Yeah. Just philosopher. Like I would say we disagreed on that point, and just I would say you have to read more about the necessary being
I have
because
to read
necessary
more
being.
about necessary being. We're not talking about even
Yeah.
being here. We were talking about necessary things, which start all the things which are at the first of the causal chain. It doesn't have to be a being even, so you didn't get even that part. I claim that there
Yeah.
could be
If
many multiple things at the beginning. They don't have to, have fully potential of everything to become everything. There's no such a rule. They can all be different, okay? And that doesn't mean they cannot influence each other. That doesn't mean they cannot cause other things together because of their interaction. Maybe they interact and they cause other things. We don't know that. We don't know how it works. We don't know how the things work outside of this universe. We don't know the physics. We don't know the rules of those things. So we can speculate about anything if we accept that there must be necessary things at the beginning. That's the only part that we can go for the sake of argument. I don't have a problem with it. I like it, by the way. To be honest, I like it. I like to think that there are some necessary things at the beginning and everything starts from those things or that thing, whatever. It doesn't matter how many, even. I'm okay with that notion. But the problem
okay.
becomes when
So
people claim that, oh, that thing must be like this, like this, like this, like this. And they take it from their religion. Okay? They don't
Okay,
reason
let me.
logically. They don't think clearly. They take it from only their religions.
Okay, you finished?
Yeah, I am.
Let me pinpoint your problem, and after that you can search it. Necessary being cannot change, cannot have potential. So just like search about that point. Necessary being cannot have potential. Okay, and I'm going to join you the next week, maybe tomorrow, maybe the
Is it
next
your
month,
claim?
and
Wait,
discuss
wait,
about that.
man,
Yeah,
man,
this is my
man,
claim.
man. I will even block you if you do that. Okay. Who said that they
Do you,
have? Who
do you
said that?
think?
Who
Look,
said
do you
that
think
they?
I care if you block
Who
me or
said
not?
that they have fucking potential and they can change? Who said that? Who said that? You see, he's escaping, Frank. This is the highest level of being asshole. I
Yeah,
have
I understand. I've been listening to as much as possible, and you are. I totally think you're correct.
thanks
The
for
guy's a
supporting.
jerk.
That
Yeah.
eases my
No,
temper.
no, yeah. No, he was. He pretends to be an extremely educated guy. Like when he tells you you need to read this or you need to read that
Hmm?
or whatever. Now, uh, you know, you put up topics like you do, you're going to attract a lot of jerks. So,
That's
and
true.
I admire your ability to deal with them. You're very calm, and
Oh,
sometimes you know they try to dominate the conversation, but you seem to control it. You bring it back to
thanks. I
a
wish
normal control.
I was calmer all the time. I'm not calm all the time.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but you don't uh, you know, basically when you get a little heated, it's because they over try to talk over you. They won't shut up. Um, you know, there's good reasons for getting pissed off with some of these people.
I also believe that I had always good reasons. Sometimes, yeah, I accept that. Sometimes maybe I don't
Yeah.
have good reasons to block them or
No,
mute them.
I think your reasons are always pretty good. I would get
Thank you.
upset if I was in your position.
Yeah, I'm upset. Like,
Yeah.
you had seen it. Like, I'm not claiming that they have the potential and they can change it. And he's telling me that go search, read.
Yeah, yeah. He's
I like,
pretending to be more. He's trying to tell you I'm more intelligent than you.
but you know, like
That's
I'm
what
okay
he's
with
trying to
that. Even Frank, I'm even okay with that. But what he wanted me to do was so fuckingly unnecessary because I was not claiming such a thing. If I
Right.
was claiming the opposite, then he could say, "Go search, man. You're wrong." But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not wrong here because I didn't even claim such a thing. How can I, or why should I do that? Like I even
yeah.
didn't claim that. We were on the same page, by the way. I asked, hey, did like the thing that you believe that is the necessary existence, the starter is changing? He said no, and I said okay, I'm okay with that. And you think that it has potential? He said no because it's complete, and I said okay. The thing that I also assert here it also doesn't have potential. I didn't claim that it must have a potential. I said maybe it has, maybe not. It doesn't have to have potential. So, and he's just telling me that go and search because the first thing, the first cause, the necessary existence doesn't have a potential and it's not changing. Why should I do that if I accept that? I already accepted that. But
Right.
anyway, this speech was not for you, Frank, only. It was
No,
also
no,
for
I
the
know,
YouTube.
I know,
Thank
I
you
know.
for being patient.
No, I enjoy your room. I enjoy the way you handle
Thank you
the
so
different
much. And
people. Yeah.
it means a lot to me. You should know that. Anyway,
Well, okay. So you have nobody here. What are you going to do? Or just are you going to
oh,
stay and wait for somebody else to come in,
no,
or are you
no, no, no.
taking off?
I think my girlfriend is being really irritated because I'm making her wait right
Get
now.
off the fucking computer.
I will, I will. And I
Yeah.
recreated
Okay.
a lot of times this room to get more people. We had people. It's good. Today we had a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. There were a lot of people earlier.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we had like 5 hours streaming today. It was
Say that
earlier.
again, please.
5 hours streaming.
you've been here 5 hours?
No, like before that, we had 5 hours, and now I'm here for 3 hours. Yeah, nearly 3
Okay.
hours. This one is nearly 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I should go.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
take it easy.
See you next
My
time.
regards to your girlfriend. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
End the stream.